Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call Laimla Yahweh Bashim Shai. Bahashim Makakudash, the bonds to the Apostle Great Millstone. Taught us this truth and continue to guide us through the Spirit. And peace and mercy to you, brothers. That's of the elect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, prophecy is speaking at the last end, a little late night, can't really sleep, so might as well go into some of these articles that I had read. One of the first ones that I found interesting up here, this is from blacklistednews.com. It says genetically modified children, Monsanto chemicals permanently alter your child's genes. So as we well know, Scripture says we shall eat our bread. Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 12, it says, "And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. And the Lord said, Even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread defiled amongst the Gentiles, whither I will drive them." So you know what I'm saying? That's prophecy that we would be eating messed up foods in a society, man. So the article right here states that the genetically modified foods that Monsanto, which basically like they own damn near all the food supply, permanently alters your child's genes. So like we're living in these bodies, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't even know how messed up you are on the inside because all the shit that they put in you. Like since you were a child, they put goddamn all kind of vaccines in you, man. Especially little black boys and girls. Especially, but really the main target is the boys, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why they diagnose them with autism, all kind of shit. They said, matter of fact, I got an article up here too that said that the Amish people have all the kids that they found in the Amish communities. They don't really deal with the society. They got their own little thing going on, or they don't really like go to the grocery stores that regular folk go to. They grow their own food. So they found, the article states, and this is Esau, by the way. So you know what I'm saying? Esau's spilling the beans. It says new study finds 0 Amish children diagnosed with cancer, diabetes, or autism. Those are things that plague the communities of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Jake, their neighborhoods, our people are plagued with cancer, diabetes, and autism. A kid comes out, somewhat, a little slow, whatever. They already saying this little boy got autism. You know what I mean? They're already trying to say, oh, the kid is messed up, So it says, in a new comprehensive study presented by VSFR, Steve Kirsch, the founder of VSFR, Steve Kirsch, to the Pennsylvania State Senate, it was calculated that for Amish children who strictly 100% unvaxxed, meaning they ain't take the jab, typical chronic conditions barely exist, if any at all. So they were already healthy because they're already eating, decent food. They're over there living off the land and shit over there in Pennsylvania. A lot of them Amish people live in Pennsylvania, man. So it says across America, the current population of Amish people is quickly approaching 400,000. The largest concentration of Amish citizens are 90,000 in Pennsylvania, 82,000 in Ohio. Amish communities are in at least 32 U.S. states. Blah, blah, blah. The Amish are a group of traditional Christians, blah, blah, All right, so the point is that it says, as we recently reported, a study conducted by the Jab Safety Research Foundation found that the Crown Vic-19 death rates among Amish communities are 90 times lower than the rest of America. Yeah, 50 milligram Shalom. Yeah, 250 milligram aluminum in K shot, 100 milligram aluminum in HB shot. First day out the womb. Hey, that's good, brother. Hey, that's good. I gotta take a screenshot of that. You see, that's what you see, that's the wickedness of our people. That's the wickedness of this society, man. Already, you come out. That's why it says in Job 14:1, it says that It says that a man that is born of a woman is a few days in trouble, full of trouble, man. So we're born on this earth just immediately to get stuck with some damn jab. You come from the spirit world and you're getting stuck with aluminum, with motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, all kind of shit, bro. You know, it's like this is truly slavery, man. In this world, this is why the scripture says we seek a rest, continuous city to come. You know, so it says, but the separated communities didn't avoid catching the jab. I mean the virus. However, roughly 90% of the Amish have been infected with these chronic conditions, which many vaccinated children and swaths of Americans suffer from, including autoimmune disease, heart disease, diabetes, asthma, ADHD, arthritis, cancer, autism. So, in the ancient world, we didn't suffer from all this shit, and we didn't have jabs and all that. We didn't have arthritis at a young age, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jake got arthritis at like 20-some years old, man, 30, 40 years old. Like, you're still somewhat young, man. You shouldn't be dealing with cancer, asthma. You can't breathe right, Why you think you got asthma? Because this damn air is polluted as all hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think you're breathing. People, they'll say, oh, I'm going outside to get a breath of fresh air. There's no such thing as a breath of fresh air in this society. You breathing in all kind of toxic chemicals and shit. It says during the testimony before the Pennsylvania State Senate, expert health advocates shared details on why there have never been any reports published regarding the health of Amish children in general. After decades of studying the Amish, there's no reports because that would be devastating to the narrative. Yeah, people that live off the land, they're more healthy, man. It says the experts all noted that chronic conditions are soaring among the American people. Yeah, chronic conditions. Let's look at the word chronic, man. What's a chronic condition, man? That's something serious, bro. A chronic condition, that's like something you can't get rid of, That's like it's something that could kill you, It says chronic, it says lasting a long time, basically lifelong, you can't get rid of, right? Just like I said. It says of time, concerning time, chronos, which is the Greek word for time. One of the Greek gods called Kronos. One of the giants, if you will, in Greek mythology, right? Which that was all invented by Jake anyway. It says vague. It says pertaining to time. So chronic disease is something that, is severe, extreme, in length of time, So yeah, all these Americans, man, they're suffering from diseases that they can't get rid of, man, because they're not dealing with the herbs, man. Matter of fact, let's look at this. Why do you think they try to murder Dr. Sebi, man? Or they did murder Dr. Sebi, because Dr. Sebi was dealing with the herbs, man. He was curing people. You know what I'm saying? And that takes money out the so-called white man's pockets, which, his number one cash cow is keeping people sick. Okay? It's not guns, not oil, it's not drugs. It's actually, it is drugs, because that has to do with keeping people sick. But the so-called white man's number one cash cow is people and keeping people sick, man. And they're keeping them running back to the biggest industry in the world is basically pharmaceuticals, Because everybody and their mama gets sick, all the time. They're always sick. Little babies always sick. Kids sick. Little boys sick. You get older, you get sick. You know what I'm saying? This is why they always targeting the middle-aged people to try to feed them bullshit, donuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, middle age, I'm talking about like, people that are like between the ages of 15, 34. They try to feed you with all that shit, man. So that your body will break down and you'll be sick. You'll be visiting that doctor, which the word doctor means to falsify. So the Lord said that He made herbs out the earth, and he that is wise shall not abhor them. A wise man will the scripture say a wise man regard the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. A wise man would use the herbs, man, of modifying plaster, as the scriptures say, would use the herbs to heal themselves. That's what Gad and Reuben was doing over here in America. It was called the land of Arsarif at one point. So it says Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 12. It says 16 and 12. It says, for it was neither herb nor modifying plaster that restored them to health, but that word which healeth all things. See, so the herbs do heal, modifying plasters do heal, but the ultimate healing comes from the word of the Most High, which, you know what I'm saying, in this society is not upheld, man. It says, for thou hast the power over life and death, and thou leadest down to the gates of hell, and thou bringest back up again. See, so yeah, this so-called white man, he's none but a death dealer, He deals in death, and he deals in, he doesn't deal with herbs, man. He deals with synthetic drugs that keeps the people sick and dead. That's why everybody's like a zombie. They're all fucking depressed. They don't have any self-esteem, You look at them and they're all strung out. They can't live without their drugs, That's the average American person. It says, however, they concluded that these conditions are non-existent among unvaxxed Amish communities. According to the VSFR study, not one single Amish child could be found who has suffered from not one single kid suffered from cancer, autism, heart disease, or any other conditions that are on the rise among children. But they'll say that we're spewing out medical misinformation or something. You know what I mean? That's the kind of devil we're dealing with. A devil that doesn't deal with facts. He only deals with the things that are convenient for his narrative, So back to the original article. It says genetically modified children. All right, Monsanto chemicals permanently alter your child's genes. So they got a picture of a tomato and they're sticking a needle in it, right? Trying to modify it. It says low-income tobacco farmers face skyrocketing cancer rates with more devastating repercussions affecting their children. Severe physical deformities and mental disabilities. Everybody in this place got damn near all these. You look at the little small children, they're all simple, man. They're all like, they're all simple, man. They all look simple. It says choosing between poverty or poison. Latin American growers have no choice but to use harmful chemicals such as glyphosate. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's found in Monsanto's Roundup and Bayer's Confidor if they want to certify and sell their big crops to big tobacco. It says a patent and regulatory laws continue to favor the profits of Monsanto and chemical companies. The tobacco makes its way into the hands and mouths of consumers worldwide, and Philip Morris tobacco products. Yeah, that's why you people out there that smoke, man, you might as well just kill yourself, man, because you're ingesting like thousands and thousands of toxins in your lungs, which you need to breathe, and the breathing goes right to the brain, man. It goes, what I'm saying, that affects your brain processing power, man. You know what I mean? So when you breathing in all this fucking tar and just yuck and shit, you just smoking it all the time, 5-6 packs a day. Some people do that, 2-3 packs. They gotta smoke when they get up. They gotta smoke. It's terrible for you, man. So this is what they're doing. It says while the poison used to harvest the crops contaminate the farmer's blood and are modifying the human genome, creating genetically modified children. So we've been saying that Esau is like goddamn Frankenstein, man. He's a mad scientist, man. And he'd never be satisfied, as scriptures say, until, you know what I'm saying? It says he heapeth to himself all people. You know what I'm saying? He's as deaf and cannot be satisfied. He's never satisfied, man. But he's always got to do some experiment. He always got to do some type of damn witchcraft in the lab. That's how he created the Crown Vic, in the lab. But blame it on the Chinese. But it was really the white man. He's the real problem. Not only is it Moab, but the main problem is the white man, because he's the one that shut the whole world down. It says the film interviews Dr. Hugo De Mayo and Dr. Mario Barrera, who are dedicated to highlighting and treating the link between agrochemicals and birth defects. It says it features anti-grow chemical activist Sofia Gatica, who is renowned for her work in tracking abnormal rates of cancer, kidney disease, and other ailments linked to aerial spraying of glyphosate. So I can't read. It's spelled Glyphosate, glyphosate, something like that. On GMO soy crops, man. So damn, let me see if I can show y'all this video, man. It's too long. I'm not gonna. It's like basically what these researchers. It's like 50 minutes, man. It's a documentary about genetically modified children, and you can see like the little boy is like deformed, and like he looks skinny as hell. He looked like he ain't got no color to him, you know. Okay, so it says GMO children. Film unveils monstrous child deformities. This was published on August 25th, 2018. It says the shocking film, Genetically Modified Children, unveils the horrors of decades of chemical-intensive agricultural practices in Argentina, where the majority, and that's where Neftali is, man, you know. Over there, you know, they're over there messing with the crops over there, man, all over the earth, so not just in America, man. It says where the majority of crops are genetically modified and routinely doused in dangerous agrochemicals, and the chokehold of big tobacco companies such as Philip Morris and chemical and seed giants have taken on poverty-stricken farmers desperate to earn a living. And it says the film, produced by Julia Igar and Stephanie LeBurn, shows the devastating health effects the region's agricultural sector is having on children, an increasing number of whom are being born with monstrous physical deformities. Some of the children's cases are so severe that without medical intervention, they will die before the age of 5. God damn, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, the white man, he's the devil, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's the devil. He's the devil, man, you know? See, we actually care about, you know what I'm saying, the youth and all that, man, you know? This fucking devil he's a sadistic fucker, you know? All right? He don't care about nothing but his bottom line, his dollar. It says the film begins with the crew traveling from North Argentina to the province of Misiones to the Brazilian frontier, an agricultural region that was one of the nation's first to begin growing genetically modified back in the mid-90s. So we're talking about 30 years of this shit, bro. We're talking about more than 30 years of them going down there and doing all this shit. Man, we're talking about, actually, we're talking about hundreds of years, man, because, you know, when Esau started to really get into the Industrial Revolution, that's when he started to like really go into these islands and start fucking these places up, like Hawaii. You know, Hawaii, when you go into the history of Hawaii, man, you know what I'm saying, it was a big ass banana. That's where you get the company Dole from Hawaii, man. You know, so they took over Hawaii, man, to take over the trade of the bananas and all that shit, man. You know, just like the same they did with these Central American countries, man. You know, not just for bananas, but for resources, obviously. But that was a big ass reason why they took it. Now, anyways, not to get off track, but it says featured in the film is Ricardo Rivera, the regional head of the local electricity company. He learned that the reason families cannot pay their bills is because they are often taking care of sick or handicapped children and receiving no assistance from the government. The film shows them visiting the humble home of a tobacco farmer where they meet Lucas Teixeira, a 5-year-old boy with an incurable genetic skin disease. The family believes that it was caused by the mother's exposure to Monsanto's Roundup weed killer early on in her pregnancy. No one told her it was toxic. Yeah, man. Yo, everything this devil does is toxic, man. So Monsanto, you know, all that shit that they spray on the sidewalks to kill the weeds and all that shit, they put that in your food, man. It says the genetic mutation that caused her son's condition left him with no pores in his skin. And you need them pores, man. You know what I'm saying? So your skin can stay, you know, hydrated and shit. So you can keep looking young, you know. So the little boy probably looked like an old man, you know, all messed up and shit, skin all raggedy. It says, which means he doesn't perspire, meaning he doesn't sweat. The heat from his body stays inside, causing him severe and painful itching that leads to frequent crying spells. Mr. Teixeira expresses his sadness over Lucas' condition. So yeah, man, hey, that's fucked up, man. But hey, that's the world we live in, where this devil's allowed to basically run free for the time being and do this to our people, man. You know, so this devil got a lot to pay for. Let me read this here. It says Isaiah 54:16 says, "Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy it." That's right. Yeah, the Lord has created the missile, man, to ultimately wipe this fucking cancerous devil off the earth, because he is just a cancer himself. He's the root of the problem, man. You know what I'm saying? He's the root of the problem. It says 300 million liters of glyphosate. Damn, I gotta learn how to spell it, how to say this word. glyphosate are applied each year. 300 million liters, man, of crops of this bullshit is sprayed throughout the year, on average. All right. Genetically modified crops first entered the country of Argentina after the government authorized their use from 1996 onward, a decision based solely on studies conducted by Monsanto with no contradicting research. These doctors, a lot of these people who work in the so-called medical field and shit, they're paid off. They're bought and paid for, man. This is why they don't find any contradicting research against Monsanto. It has to be private studies that come out and do the research themselves, and they see that, oh, look at this, you know. So many people are all fucked up that they can't even hide the fact that this shit is going on, you know. So anyway, it says for more than 2 decades, the land was sprayed with glyphosate, and other agrochemicals, contaminating the region's soil and water. By 2013, more than 24 million acres, 59.3 million acres in Spanish hectares, of genetically modified crops were grown in Argentina, including soy, maize, cotton, and tobacco. Shit's crazy, man. Shit's crazy, bro. You know, we're talking about millions and millions and millions and millions of acres, man. That, you know what I'm saying, that food comes up here, you know. So they do that shit over here too, man, you know. That's crazy as hell, man. That's crazy as hell. But this is the devil that we're dealing with, man. A total lunatic, man, who must be stopped. Okay. This devil must be stopped, man. God damn, bro, this shit's crazy. Look, this article is long as hell. This article is super long, man. There's so much to cover on here, but yeah, you get the point on that one, man. I'm gonna jump to something else here. Man. Oh yeah, they said them Island Boys were part of Epstein's cult. You know, he was touching on them. Brother had shared it. I know it came up in the news a couple of weeks ago, or a couple months ago, but I didn't really see it up until now, man. But and this ties in right to it. It says lawsuit bombshell: sex trafficker Jeff Epstein was a business partner with members of J.P. Morgan's board of directors. All these devils are intertwined with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? The higher ups, bro. You know, they're all part of the brotherhood. But this guy Epstein must have done some fucked up shit for them to turn their back on him, man. Because all these devils are into this shit. So they got a picture. They got a picture of this guy Epstein, you know, the pedophile, and then you got this guy Jamie Dimon, you know, who's the CEO. This guy Jamie Dimon is the CEO of I believe J.P. Morgan Chase, you know. So he's a so-called Jew. Both of these dudes are so-called Jews, which shows you that everybody that runs the world is a so-called Jew, you know. Like the commissioner in NBA, the commissioner in NFL, the fucking the heads of states, these all, you know, the Prime Minister of Canada, like the so-called Jews who call themselves being the Israelis are running the earth, you know, and which is totally against prophecy, because it says that the so-called the Israelites will be in slavery and be poor at the end of days, man, you know. But all we see here is a bunch of so-called Jews that are rich, you know, with power. They're not under the curses, so they couldn't possibly be the people. Now, anyway, it says for months, the largest federally insured bank in the U.S., J.P. Morgan Chase, represented by Wilmer Hale, a law firm with more than 1,000 attorneys, has been attempting to bamboozle the American people with the narrative that it engaged in no wrongdoing when it provided millions of dollars in cold hard cash to child sex trafficker Jeff Epstein for more than a decade, without following the legal mandate of reporting this suspicious activity to law enforcement. Which, because they're all in on it, man. But the internet is such a crazy place that information gets out. So now Esau has to do damage control, where he has to go and say, oh, look, they got to point the finger at somebody. Oh, Jeff, he's the guy. But there's a fucking 100 other niggas doing the same shit. 1,000 other dudes doing the same shit, you know? Like remember what happened with this guy, Harvey Weinstein, man? You know, back in like 2019, 18, something like that. You know, he was touching women, all this shit, Me Too movement, you know? But he was not the only dude that was doing that shit. But somebody has to be the scapegoat, like Bill Cosby, like R. Kelly. You know, these guys are just doing what things that they do in Hollywood, man. Nobody sees anything wrong with it until, you know what I'm saying, the time comes where they gotta throw you under the bus, man. All right, and that's because there's no honor among thieves. You know, them niggas are wicked, so they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Now it says internal emails produced in discovery in 2 lawsuits against the bank in federal court in Manhattan shows that the bank was well aware that Epstein was known for being a sexual predator of kids, as it doled out all of this cash at times reaching $40,000 to $80,000 a month. Why was they giving this dude money when this dude's a billionaire? You know, but it shows you that, you know what I'm saying, thieves and murderers and robbers, they run together, you know, and they watch out for each other. Okay, so yeah, my boy Jamie Dimon was taking good care of Epstein, man. You know what I'm saying? That's wild, man. But you know what I'm saying? This is prophecy speaking. This is why sometimes I like to, you know, go into these articles, man, and shit like that, because you get a lot of information, man. A lot of good information, and that's what the prophets do. They report, you know what I'm saying, on certain things that they see, you know. CBDCs. It says CBDCs are a solution for a problem we don't have. They want to implant it under our skin. All right. And immediately it should come to your mind, Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th and 17th verse. Immediately, when you see something like this, the chip comes into play. Now it says, Professor Richard A. Warner is an economist and professor of banking and finance. He is known as the proponent of a new post-crisis monetary system or policy called quantitative easing. And you brothers that know about, you know, the finances, you know, you've heard this term before, quantitative easing. You know, when he proposed it back in Japan in 1995 as the chief economist. So this guy's an insider. This guy Richard Werner. Let's look at him. He's probably a so-called Jew. You know, probably a little small hat. Richard Werner. Let's see if we can see an image of him. Oh yeah, he's a devil. He's a devil. Look at the pointy nose. Yeah, that's a devil right there. Yeah, I'll just show you real quick, man. Yeah, that's a devil right there. You can just tell by the nose. Look at the nose, man. You know. But anyways, man, it says let me jump down here, man. Let's see if I can find. Okay, it says as one of his quotes. It says, you have to think of CBDCs as a control system or a permit system, not a currency, Professor Warner explained. It is a conditional currency based upon how you actually get that permit. Now, if you happen to be some type of critic of the government policy or a critic of central banks, this could be difficult. Or if you dare to step out of the 15-minute city zone, whew, this is coming out the horse's mouth. It says, you know, maybe you'll find that, oh, my CBDC is not working, my chip is not working. Of course, these are things we've seen already in China, where in China they got the debt, they got that they got the credit score, social credit score, where if you do something wrong, you know, if you do something wrong, now they on your ass and shit, you know. If you cross the street, if you cross the street while the light is red, or you know what I'm saying, now they're gonna send you a ticket, right? It says there's plenty of videos where somebody tries to use it to buy a ticket and it doesn't work because his social credit score is low. Now, effectively, there's no real right to appeal. With very few people controlling the very many, the controllers will use, well, in this case, the controller is the white man. It says will use computers and algorithms to run the system. If you appeal the blocking of CBDCs, you'll be dealing with automated responses. Okay, it says Professor Werner explained that the central planners, as he calls them, which is the bankers, going all the way back to 1913, where they enacted the Federal Reserve, all right? Okay. You know, so those are the central planners. They planned this all the way back then. And because they understand something called reincarnation in the Bible. You know, they understand that, you know what I'm saying, going all the way back to the, matter of fact, Matter of fact, going all the way back to the Borgias, man. Going all the way back then. All this, they've been planning all this shit coming all the way up till now, the Rothschilds, you know. So it says, explain that the central planners, as he calls them, orchestrate inflation to cover up changes to banking system. Okay, inflation is orchestrated, right? Because the money markets are manipulated, if you will. All right, nothing happens by chance. All these people that the stock market went down and this and that. The white man, he's in control of the market, man. Why? Come on, man. It's not random. All right. It says, for example, in the 1970s, high inflation was orchestrated to cover up the move of the gold-backed U.S. dollar to the petrodollar. Yep. Look up the Bretton Woods Agreement. You know, in the 70s, man. Your boy Richard Nixon was behind that shit. Your boy Richard Nixon was taking his orders from the top, man, to move the dollar from the back gold to the petrodollar, man. You know. It says, in the high inflation we've experienced in 2021, 2022 has been orchestrated to cover up the move from the petrodollar to the CBDCs, because everything's moving towards the central bank digital currency, which is the microchip. All right. Everything's moving towards that new world order system, the B system. You know, it says March 2020, the Federal Reserve and other key central banks adopted quantitative easing 2, a recommendation for deflation or shrinking of the economy. In March 2020, economies weren't shrinking, but the Federal Reserve adopted quantitative easing 2 and bought up assets from non-banks, forcing banks to create credit. It was very clear that it was going to create inflation. This was not an error in judgment. It was done intentionally, Professor Warner explained. It is a very specific policy that is very rarely taken. Why is it very rarely taken? Because now they're trying to move in maximum overdrive, man, in order to push this chip, in order to, you know what I'm saying? Because the Lord's putting in their minds that they got to speed up quick, man, because the time is running out. It says in Revelation 12:12, behold, the devil cometh down having great wrath, knowing he hath but a short time, man, you know? So this devil knows the prophecies, and he knows that, you know what I'm saying, his time is short. It says, just before COVID in August 2019, there was a conference in Jackson Hole of the annual Central Bankers Conference, but it invited BlackRock. If you know anything about BlackRock, Larry Fink, the so-called Jew himself, that BlackRock is basically like a front for the bankers, man. You know, BlackRock, the biggest asset manager, and BlackRock made a proposal. They said that there will be another crisis, but this time we should create inflation. They never explain why. They just say we must create inflation, and here's how we're going to do it. And they cited my proposal without mentioning my name, of course. Hey, inflation. Matter of fact, let me say this. During that whole pandemic thing, these damn devils got richer. They got richer while the people got poor through the hidden tax of inflation. You see, everything that happens in this place is to make the richer richer and the poor more poor, to take the dollar out of your pocket, to make your mama and your daddy work harder, to make you work harder, you know what I'm saying, for less money, you know. For instance, like in the 50s, 60s, like a man could work a normal job, man, right, at the factory, wherever he worked, and he would have enough to fucking to have 4 or 5 kids with no problem, man, you know. They would actually do that. It was a common practice for there to be just one income in the house, and that was it. Nowadays, nigga, you need like 4 or 5 incomes, man, to make it in New York City or wherever major city you live in, man. You need to, like, this is why, you know, you got these women doing OnlyFans. You got everybody's a porn star, or everybody's doing some type of fucking online business or some shit to try to survive, because the inflation has taken everybody's checks. Everybody's money is gone by the time they receive it, and that's Haggai 1:6. It says that you will work to fill a bag with holes, man. You know, so the money is already gone before you didn't received it, man. You already got to spend it on this, and that. You're behind on this. You're behind on that. You know, so this is the world we live in. Not a very prosperous society. All right, all orchestrated by the so-called white man. All right, which really the Most High is in power, of course. But you understand, man. You understand what I'm saying. And there's one more fact that Professor Warner said the Federal Reserve hired BlackRock in March 2020 to buy assets. Quantitative easing was for a deflationary situation, but the way they were using it had to cause inflation. There was no doubt, and they knew what they were doing because they even said it. You see, everything's done by design, man. Nothing is a coincidence in this place, and you got to understand this. So it says at the moment there's talks about CBDCs being used via phone-based apps. Yes, that is the initial phase, but what has already been around since 2015 is the ultimate goal. What they really want, apparently, I was told by a central banker, is CBDC, which looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin, which is my view a violation of human dignity. And they realize that there is a hurdle to get people to accept this. Now, how are they going to get people to accept this? They're going to make it socially cool and popular to do something. You know, most people, they don't really have a problem with doing certain things as long as it's socially acceptable to do it. Like, for instance, if every man wore dresses and shit like that, and every man was, you know what I'm saying, a mo, everybody would be cool with being a mo. That's what they're trying to normalize in this society. Everyone to be a mo. You know what I'm saying? Like, if everyone's a mo, then everything's cool. Back in the day, it wasn't cool to be a mo, you know, because men had masculinity. Men understood that it was wrong for you to deal with another man, you know. Like, back in the ancient world, like, men would, you know what I'm saying, have multiple wives. That was a thing. And this society is not a thing because, you know what I'm saying, like, the average person, the average woman will have an issue with that, right? But because they're looked at as like, oh, you're doing something wrong, you're settling, you know, right? But that was a common practice. See, so most people, you know what I'm saying, they're followers. They follow what they see other people do. So if they see a bunch of people taking a microchip and they see the celebrities and the rappers and all these motherfuckers, oh yeah, I'm the cool, I'm the next, you know, that's the cool thing to do. Everybody's gonna do it. And this is why Esau hires all these celebrities, rappers, entertainers to push certain agendas and to push certain messages out there to the people, you know, to push certain narratives that they know the masses are going to leech onto and gravitate to, because the average person is a sheep, you know, but not the Lord's sheep. They're a sheep, not the Lord's sheep, but they're basically like a sheep led, like a flock led to the slaughter, you know. Okay, they're just going with whatever the government says, you know. So it says they're using crises, disruptions, and unemployment to introduce UBI, which is Universal Basic Income, to soften the public up to accepting a CBDC chip implanted under their skin. Hey, understand this. They already introduced a form of this, right? When they started giving all these people all this free money during the pandemic. You know, people with PPP loans scamming. They were doing all kind of shit, bro. They were doing all kind of shit. People wasn't working. They weren't even working. You know, most people were not even working, man. They were just sitting at the crib getting fat, smoking weed, and collecting checks and shit, you know, because the government was giving them more money than their actual job. So there was no point in them actually going to work, you know. So they already got the people basically kind of already, you know, in that mode of like, oh, let's rely on the government to send us a check. It says you will get 2,000 euros into your account every month. But of course, to run this effectively, they say, we need to use the latest technology, so you need the CBDC chip implant. Hey, hey man, this thing ain't no joke, bro. This is coming out the devil's mouth himself. The scriptures say, what? His tongue shall fall upon themselves. You know, let me get that. Their tongues, you know, the tongue shall fall. The tongue is falling upon themselves, man. They're literally telling on themselves, man. And the Lord is the one that's making them. Psalm 64:8, it says, so they shall make their tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. You know, so they're literally exposing their own selves and their agenda. They're not hiding it no more, bro. They're putting it in your face everywhere you go. Satanic agenda everywhere you go. Music video, satanic agenda. You know, pretty soon they're just gonna throw it out there, man. You know, they're gonna have a nigga with a devil horns, and you know he's over there getting chipped, and then the bitch is twerking on him. You know, that's just how it's gonna be. You know, and because don't nobody have a problem with this shit, bro. Everybody just, oh, that's normal. Everything's normal. You know, nobody. You know, it's very few people that you know what I'm saying, against what's going on in the society, bro. Because like I said, the average person is just like a damn sheep. You know. Real docile, real feminine, man. You know, especially you men. You know, Even Andrew Tate said it, man. You know, they're attacking you men because they know that once you men are gone, you know, the women are fucking easy ass prey. Easy prey. They'll do whatever the fuck they have to do to survive. You know, they'll get down. You know, a man will lay down his life if a real man gonna lay down his life for what he believes in, right? You know, but these women, what the fuck they gonna do? They just gonna roll over, okay? Just gonna roll over and do what they're told, man. You know. So yeah, bro, that's the thing. This thing is real, man. Let's see what else we can find here, bro. See what else we can find here, man. Bro, put us in scriptures. It says 2 Ezra 15:17 says a man shall desire to go into a sin should not be able. Yep. We experienced a small dose of that, you know, during the pandemic. You know, you was trying to leave the crib, you couldn't leave. You had to go get a jab to work. You know. Go into the store without a mask and shit, you know, they're looking at you weird, you're coughing. Oh, this guy's sick, he got AIDS, he got something, man. You know, it's like, what the fuck, bro? You can't even live, you can't even breathe. It says Revelation 13:15, he had power to give image unto life for the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the beast should be killed. That's right. Take that thing, you worshiping the white man and his system. You worshiping the devil. You're saying that Esau is your Lord. So Exodus 23:2, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shall I speak and cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. See, that's what these people are doing. They're following a multitude to do evil, and they're also speaking against us in the cause to decline to wrest judgment. See, they're really like, oh no, that doesn't matter. You know, y'all guys are crazy. You know, like especially like IUIC and them, you know, these different, I forgot which one of these niggas, I think it was One Body. They were saying like there was no slave ships, you know. They're going to come out and say that we're crazy because, you know, we're conspiracy theorists and shit, you know. Like Adam Abbott, man. Adam Abbott, what did they say about brothers, man? They said that, you know, much studying has made you crazy, has made you bugged out, you know. Because we the apostles and elders and brothers have been, you know, going into this for many years, warning the people about what's coming, you know. But you got false prophets in this thing set up to deceive the undesirables and the wicked, you know. So you the prophets of Baal, you know, Adam Abbott and all these different guys. All right. It says BSI CBDC rollouts. This is from July 9th, right? All recent information, man. CBDC, this is not from 20 years ago. This is from like a couple of days, man. CBDC rolls out may require change in the Constitution. And we know what the Constitution is. Nothing but a piece of paper. The Constitution ain't nothing but a piece of paper. Daddy Bush Ben said it, man. He said the Constitution ain't nothing but a piece of paper. We're talking about a former U.S. president here that made these statements, you know. So it says the IMF, which is an International Monetary Fund, which they're responsible for loaning out a bunch of debt to basically the whole world, right? When you do the research about the IMF, they do international what's it called, international they what's the word? They destabilize countries by way of economic warfare, you know. So it says the IMF is warning that with all these CBDCs about to launch, there's need to be global to have global interoperability standards between them all, and they're working on a global platform to facilitate just that. See, this thing is not just going to be local; it's going to be a global thing where everybody on the earth is going to have to take this thing, this grain of rice, you know, in order to function in society. Okay. It says, speaking at a conference of African central banks in Rabat, Morocco, the IMF managing director Kristalina Grigorgiev said that there needs to be an agreement among CBDC implementations on a common regulatory framework for digital currencies that will allow global interoperability, meaning that they can work with each other. You know? It says failure to agree on a common platform would create a vacuum that would likely be filled by cryptocurrencies, right? Because right now we operate on a system that's kind of archaic in a sense, like, you know, Visa, MasterCard, and all this shit. It takes time. Like, for instance, you go to your bank and shit, and your bank has to like process the information. They have to send it to Visa, bring it back to whatever merchant you coming from. This is why it takes time for you to get your money back. You know, when you do certain things, like, you know, you request a refund and shit, it takes you 5 business days. You know, with the CBDC, shit will be instant, man. You know, so people are gonna see that shit as like a convenient thing. Like, oh, you know, I don't have to wait. I could just go in the store and scan my hand. You know, I could just go and have all my information. When I go to the doctor, I just show them. I don't even have to pull my phone out. People are so fucking lazy, they don't even want to pull their phones out. People are so lazy, they don't want to get out the car, get their food. You know, just go through the drive-through. Everything in this place has been conditioned. See, every single aspect of the society has been created and programmed in a way that makes you fat and lazy, makes you very, very comfortable. And the scriptures speak about comfort, man. She that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. You're too comfortable. That makes you fat, lazy, lethargic, and basically useless, which is what most of these people are. You know, if they didn't have their damn technology and shit, they would basically be shells of themselves. You know, because everybody and their mama is on their phone, like this, like that. You know what I'm saying? Every part of your life is on this device right here, man. And the white man has access to all of this shit. So he feels like he's God. You know, and that's what the scriptures say, man. You know, he exalted himself above that which is called the Most High. So he's sitting in the seat of the Most High, and he thinks that he is the Most High. In Isaiah 47, you know, but the Lord said he's going to bring him down to the dust and bring him down to confusion. Now it says, not to be outdone, the Bank of International Settlements, another so-called Jew-ran organization, right? You got the Bank of International Settlements, you got the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund. Then you got the CFR, which is the Council of Foreign Relations. Then you got a number of these organizations that all run things for the Rothschilds, man, behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? They're all into that shit. So it says the Bank of International Settlements worked with seven central banks to publish yet another research paper on CBDC policy titled "Central Bank Digital Currencies: Ongoing Policy Perspectives." The central banks that were involved were from Japan, showing you that this is all over the world. Japan, Sweden, Switzerland, England, the U.S., Canada, and the European Union, man. All of them are down with this. All of them are down with the beast system. Matter of fact, let's go to it. Okay, because all of these nations have given their power over to the beast. They've all given their power over to that beast, man. You know? Yep. Revelation 17. Yeah, let's go over there real quick. And this is talking about NATO and the EU, but most of these nations that were mentioned here are already part of NATO and the EU. All right, so they're going to be down with that, with this new world order, until the time comes where they're going to turn their backs on America. Now it says Okay. Just real quick. The point. Revelation 17:12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as of yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast, which is 40. 1 hour with the Lord is 43 years. So it's going back to the Club of Rome, which you could do the research and line it up with the prophecy. But was the beginning? Not the Club of Rome. What you call the? Let me go back to it. I believe it's the Council of Rome. Was it Council of Rome? Let's just real quick. Just do a quick Google search. Was it the Council of Paris? I forget which one it was. When they founded the EU. Or the founding of NATO, I believe. Oh, Treaty of Rome, yeah, Treaty of Rome. Yeah, you're right, bro. Yeah, I'd be forgetting these damn names. Yeah, Treaty of Rome. Yep. So it says 1957. Yep, 1957. That was the beginning of the European Economic Community, which is the ECC, which is now known as NATO and the EU. But basically, 1957. So you add 43 years to that. That's when the hour with the beast. So right now Esau's on borrowed time. Esau's on borrowed time. So, yep, it was the Treaty of Rome. Yep. So it says Revelation 17:13. It says, "These have one mind, and shall give their power and their strength unto the beast. And these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful." See, so these other nations, man, you know what I'm saying? Because right here we have Switzerland, Sweden, we got the U.S., Canada, and the European Union. So all these nations right here, Switzerland, you know what I'm saying? They're the EU, they're all part of this alliance that gave their power over to and their strength over to the beast, So yeah, all these nations are underneath the vibration of America, because America is the spearhead, but England is the financial capital, if you will, because that's where matter of fact, it's in the very same chapter. It says that in verse 11 it says, "And the beast that was and is not, and even he is of the eighth. He is the eighth, and is of the seven, and goeth into perdition." The eighth is America, The eighth is America, right? Because it says that mother that bare thee shall be ashamed of thee. That was England. England is the mother, is the heads. That's where the Rothschilds and them reside, man. They call the shots from England, man. So it says the paper is mostly a snoozer. I'm going back to the article in question. It says the paper wonders, are they cash deposits or is it something entirely? What is retail CBDC exactly? So this is quite the question, because if CBDCs aren't cash, because the society is going cashless, right? So we're not dealing with cash no more. There has to be a reason why they wouldn't be. When you start to see where CBDCs are going, expiry dates, programmability, social credit scores, what we're talking about is almost a kind of anti-cash. My observation, not the papers. Anti-cash, man. We're living in an anti-cash society. Further, the paper wonders, would there be need to change the banking charters, legislation, or even the constitution of the countries issuing them? Legislation may be needed to enact or adjust specific authorization needed for the issuance and distribution of retail CBDCs. So they're going. So these guys are speaking about changing laws so they can implement this thing, Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm just trying to get the point. Okay, it says tiered remuneration, eliminating cash, privacy, and the ability to save. Yeah. Your privacy is gone. The cash that you got is now no longer king, and you no longer have an ability to save up as you used to before. Like, you go to work, hard work, whatever, and save up your money or invest in the stock market. All that shit's gonna be a thing of the past, man. It says the ECB's Ulrich Beinzel, which sounds like a German, probably a German Jew. So it discusses this at length in the 2019 paper, Controlling CBDC Through Tiered Remuneration. It says, in fact, my money. Okay, no, we don't need to read that. It says, in his paper, the tools of two-tier remuneration are examined to mitigate the risk of facilitating systematic runs on banks and crisis situations. The paper acknowledges that the CBDC role in the elimination of cash banknotes, and that they effectively end anonymity in transactions and prevent both illicit transactions and store value, because CBDCs through tiered remuneration allows overcoming of one's privacy. So that's another thing that Esau wants to so-called use as excuse. People like drug dealers, for instance, they'll do drug deals, in cash and shit, with the CBDC. They can't do that no more. Everything gonna be on that ledger, everything gonna be, digitally programmed shit. If they see a transaction I don't know, $300,000 that they can't account for. You know, it's gonna raise alarms and shit. You know what I'm saying? But now, right now, you know, you could go do a deal or some shit in a park somewhere, you know, and you pay him in cash and nobody finds out, right? You could work under the table. A lot of Issacharites and, you know, Zebulonites and, you know, a lot of Asherites, they work under the table. You know, they work. And Esau, you know, Uncle Sam wants his cut. The white man wants his cut. You know, the scriptures say, "Render unto Caesar what's Caesar's." Right? All this shit belongs to Caesar, man. You know, the Lord said, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's." Right? The white man wants his cut, man. All right, Mark chapter 12. And this is Yahushua speaking, red letter. All right. It says Mark chapter 12 and verse 15 says, "And shall we give or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, Why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny that I may see it. And they brought it unto him. And he said unto them, Whose image is this, and whose inscription or superscription? They said unto him, Caesar's. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to the Most High the things that are of the Most High. And they marveled at him." So, you know, hey, this white man, you know, he wants his payment. He wants his cash. He wants to get paid just like Caesar back then. Nothing new under the sun. This shows you that there's nothing new under the sun. The so-called white man has always been taxing out the ass. He's always been requiring tribute. Okay, and this CBDC is nothing different, man. Okay, this devil wants to know what's going on in his society, his money. You know what I'm saying? Right now, every dollar that comes in is not accounted for. This is another reason why he wants to implement this whole cashless society thing, so he could keep track of everything that goes on. You know, a lot of people don't pay taxes and shit. A lot of people, you know, evade the government. They do tax fraud. They do things like that. All those things are gonna be a thing of the past. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to you know, try to evade the government and, you know, use a fake social security, because it's all gonna be digitally tied into you as an individual, like your thumbprints and everything. You know what I'm saying? Your blood type. You know what I'm saying? What kind of everything's gonna be registered. That's why recently, you know, ever since, you know, they started to like take people's information and shit, like their biometrics and all that. Like every transaction that you do with that RMV, DMV, whatever you want to, however you want to call it, right? They always make you go and put your fingerprints and your height and shit. They might ask you for some hair or whatever, man. You know, right? Because they want to keep everything, you know what I'm saying, a database on your information, you know what I'm saying, on you as a person. You know, store it up in some database somewhere, because Esau works on information. Information is power, right, to this devil. He wants to keep track of everybody. Now it says, if digital cash is used to completely replace physical cash, this could allow interest rates to be pushed below the zero bound, by overcoming the zero lower bound, therefore freeing negative interest rate policies of its current constraints. A world with only digital central bank money would allow for, according to this view, strong monetary stimulus in sharp recession or financial crisis. Basically, in layman's terms, we don't have to deal with motherfucking recessions or financial crisis when we crash this system and start over with this whole new B system, microchip system, however you want to refer to it. It says this could not only avoid recessions, unemployment, or deflation, but also the need to take recourse to non-standard monetary policy measures which have more negative side effects than NIRP, which is the current system, you know. My brother put in a Strong's definition, grapho, to commit to writing. Strong's G1125 says grapho, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. The latter root of mark, charagma, charax. Yep, a pale steak palisade. You know, it's on record, man. Everything has to be on record for this devil. You know, so he could keep track of you, man. All right. You take that digital oil, man. You're now property of the state. You're already property of the state because you have a birth certificate, you have a social security number, and So those are binding agreements with the white man. But this is a even deeper form of slavery. You know, this whole new microchip system that we're coming into. All right. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's basically it on this one. Let's see what else we could find here, man. Spirit's moving in this direction, you know. It says, "Is your phone spying on you? Computer scientists reveal what's hiding in your apps." Okay, this is from the source Study Finds. It says people love their smartphones, but did you know that they could be spying on you? A recent study by computer scientists from New York University, UC San Diego, uncovered the hidden dangers of spyware apps. These apps are not only difficult to detect, but they can also leak your sensitive information without your knowledge. The team warns that it's important to be aware of this issue and take steps to protect yourself and your privacy. There is no privacy in this place, man. And we're living in a surveillance state, man. Okay, let's get the word surveillance, man. Which this all ties into the beast system, you know. This all ties into the New World Order, you know. This all ties into, you know what I'm saying, the mark of the beast and everything. It says surveillance, oversight, supervision. The word super means to be above or superior. So to look down on somebody is a supervisor. The supervisor at your job looks down on you, make sure that you're following the policies of the business and shit, right? Wherever job you work at, CVS or wherever you work at, they're trying to make sure that everything's right. So the white man in this case is the supervisor over the people, and he's watching everything that you do, right? Overseeing, watching, watchful, right? To be strong. This is why he got cameras everywhere. This is why he implements you know what I'm saying, these on every corner, man. You got street cameras. Then in people's houses you got Alexa. Then you got the nanny cam. Then you got the motherfucking porch camera. Then you got the garage camera. And then you got cameras everywhere, man. Cameras everywhere. There's no privacy. You're in the bathroom, they're looking at you. Your phone's on, you know, they're looking at you. All right. So it says seemingly a word that came to English from terror. In France, surveillance committees were formed in every French municipality in March 1793 by order of the convention to monitor the actions and movements of suspected persons, outsiders, and dissidents. Whew. So this is why you gotta know the words, man, and study the words, the etymology, the study and truth in words, because that word surveillance comes from the French, which means to monitor the actions and movements of suspected persons, outsiders, and dissidents. Whew. Whew. So hey. This devil is literally keeping track of everybody. He got lists, man. He got red lists. He got black lists, man. You know what I'm saying? He got people who he knows is against the so-called government, you know, which the word government means mind control. So they're against the mind control of this place, you know. And they're watching out for people who are dissidents, people who are, you know, the KKK or people who are this and that. They got everybody compartmentalized in these different groups, man, you know. And if you study how the FBI works, the CIA works, they've been doing this for damn near 100 years. You know, the FBI been around since Hoover, Larry Hoover, not Larry Hoover. That's the nigga gangster, J. Edgar Hoover, man. You know, the founder. I think he was the first guy. I think he was the first director of the CIA, I believe, or like he helped found it. Who served as the first director of the FBI, yep, J. Edgar Hoover, yep, J. Edgar Hoover, man. Another so-called Jew, by the way, you know, showing you that this society is just run by so-called Jews everywhere you fucking look, going all the way back to, you know, the 20s, 30s, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is no joke, man. Shit is no joke, man. So yeah, J. Edgar Hoover, man, he was an influential figure in funding, or in starting an organization that is built on spying on people, man. You know. Hey, let me read this here. Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 6 says, "Wherefore a lion out the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities, and everyone that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many and their backslides are increased. Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's right, man. As the time we live in, it says, my bad, it says, going on, it says, this is a real life problem. We want to raise awareness for everyone from victims to the research community. Spyware apps are often marketed as tools to monitor children or employees, but they can also be used by abusers to secretly spy on their partners. The ultimate abuser being the government. It says these apps are designed to record everything that happens on the victim's device, including text message, email, photos, phone calls. The abusers can access this information remotely through a web portal. The use of spyware apps has been on the rise, with a significant increase in their usage in recent years. It says to find out if your device has been infected with spyware app, you can check your privacy dashboard, blah blah, whatever. But basically, you're being watched at all times, man. You're being watched by Big Brother. You know what I'm saying? And there's really nothing you can do about it. You can install a software app. You can install a VPN on your shit. You could go on the dark web, whatever you want to do. You're still being surveilled everywhere you go, man. You step out the house, you're being surveilled, man. And you could thank 9/11 for that. You could thank the Patriot Act, which gave this devil all the freedoms that he needed in terms of it made it legal for him to spy on you. Patriot Act, yeah, because he was already doing it, but he actually put it into actual law, man. Where it's legal for him to spy on you. It says the USA Patriot Act, commonly known as the Patriot Act, was a landmark act of the U.S. Congress, signed into law by George W. Bush. The formal name of the statute is the Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism, USA Patriot Act of 2001. Hey, 9/11 was an inside job, and so that they could say, hey, look, guys, we got terrorists and shit. We have to unite and strengthen America by providing appropriate tools, meaning spy tools, to intercept and obstruct terrorism. There's no terrorism. There was the threat. The threats of terrorism were low, man. But obviously Esau, he sells fear. He sells fear to the people. Everybody's scared of Al Qaeda and this and that, So let's allow the government to surveil us with no problem. And look at where it led to now, right? But it's all the will of the Lord. Now it says the Patriot Act was enacted following the September 11 attacks and the 2001 anthrax attacks, which with the stated goal of tightening U.S. national security. This is before 2001. You could go in and out of America with very little problems. Like you could go, like they show you, like in the 80s, niggas used to go in with a big ass suitcase worth of drugs, and you could just walk through, But today, like they have dogs sniffing your ass. They pull you to the side if you're suspicious, and they cavity search you. Like it's almost like going to the damn prison when you go to the airport. Like you gotta walk on eggshells and shit. You gotta make sure you're not looking suspicious and shit. The lines are long as hell because of this TSA security is so tight, and you could feel like a vibration on that place. There's like, oh shit, what's about to happen? You don't feel at ease at the airport. I've never once felt at ease at the airport. But put Job 9:24 says, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked, and he covereth the face of the judge thereof. If not where, who, and who, if not him, where and who is he? Yep. Yeah, that's right. The earth is given to the hands of these devils. So there's no doubt about who he is. Only a dumbass would deny the fact that Esau is the white man. In general, the act includes three main provisions: expanding surveillance abilities of law enforcement, including tapping domestic and international phones without any, without any problem, man. They could just tap whatever they want. This is easier interagency communication to allow federal agencies to more effectively use all available information and counterterrorism efforts. Anybody they deem against the government, they could just say he's a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? It says increased penalties for terrorism crimes and expanded list of activities which would qualify for terrorism charges. The law is extremely controversial due to its authorization of indefinite detention without trials of immigrants. And what does that bring to mind? Guantanamo Bay. Okay, they held people in Guantanamo Bay for fucking years, bro, and they was doing all kind of shit to them, like in there, like people that didn't really do shit, you know. But they would just say, "Oh, he's a terrorist," and they would just lock him up in there and shit. You know, a lot of them so-called Muslims and shit, Arabs, was up in there, you know, because they, you know, wrong place, wrong time, whatever the case may be. They did a movie back in the day. Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay, and that shit was funny, man. I think it was like 2006 or some shit, 2005. But yeah, man, it was like a whole cultural thing. But it says. And due to the permission given to law enforcement to search property and records without, here's the point, without warrants, consent, or knowledge, which was basically illegal before, but now it's a law where, you know, hey, Isaiah 10:1, you can put up Isaiah 10:1, man. Woe to you that decree unrighteous decrees, man. You know, this is unrighteous decree. This is an unrighteous decree, man. You know, but this white man changes and bends the laws according to his advantage, because he's the one that writes it, man. It says, though generally they need a warrant, a consent to conduct the search, blah, blah, they don't really need it. Since its passage, several legal challenges have been brought up against the act, and federal courts have ruled that a number of provisions are unconstitutional. But they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about no constitution, man. All they care about is their agenda, getting the job done, you know. So, yep, surveillance goes back to that word of monitoring the movements and suspected persons, outsiders, and dissidents. So the Patriot Act was a big ass form of surveillance, man. You know, over the people, showing you that you're not free in this place, man. You're not free, and your very life is being monitored, man, and documented by this white man, you know. So showing you why you should want to get the fuck up out of here, man, because you don't have any sovereignty, freedom, you don't have any rights, you know what I'm saying? You don't have any rights, bro. You know, all we have is Yahweh Bashem Yahshai that defends us, man, and allows us to be alive, and you know what I'm saying, continue, you know, to be safe from this damn devil, you know, because without the Lord, you know what I'm saying, we would be consumed. Okay, because we don't have any might in our hands. The Lord said, Jacob, thy worm, fear not, you know, for I am with thee. Matter of fact, let's go there. Let's go there. And because, shit, we without the Lord, bro, we're through, man. We're really through. We're really through, man. It says, Isaiah 42:14 says, start at 13, it says, the Lord shall go forth as a mighty man, and he shall stir up jealousy like a man of war, and he shall cry, yea, roar, and he shall prevail against his enemies. It says, I have long time hold my peace, and I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman, and I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs, and I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools, and I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not, and I will lead them in paths that they have not known, this truth. You know, I will make darkness light before them and crooked things straight, and these things I will do unto them and not forsake them. You see? Whew. So, hey, the Lord is shit. The Lord's the only reason we're still in the fight, and we're still standing up on our feet and being able to do what we do and be safe from this devil for the time being, you know. That's why it says in Psalms 91 to abide under the shadow of the Almighty, man. Psalms 62. Psalm 62, and it says, verse 1, it says, truly my soul waiteth upon the Most High God, from him cometh my salvation, and he is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, and I shall not be greatly moved. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man, and ye shall be slain, all of you? All you devils gonna be slain. It says, as a bowling wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. Thy only consort to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies, trickery, wickedness. Okay, this is the people that we're dealing with. We just read all this information about them. So they bless with their mouth and they curse inwardly. Say, "La, my soul, wait thou only upon the Most High, for my expectation is from Him. He only is my rock and my salvation. He's my defense. I shall not be moved. And the Most High is my salvation and my glory, and the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in the Most High. Trust in Him at all times. Ye people, who the people? Israel, not fucking Moab and all these other niggas, or you Edomites, you Christian Edomites. You can't trust in the Lord." It says, "Ye people, pour out your heart before Him. The Most High is a refuge for us. Selah. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie." Yep, these higher ups, these fucking higher up niggas, these Edomite banking niggas, all these 2/3 sellouts. Men of high degree are a lie. That's a video right there. Men of high degree are a lie, to be laid in the balance. They are altogether lighter than vanity. Okay, because the scriptures say the Lord respect no man's person, right? You don't give a shit who you are in this world. The Lord's going to judge you, all right? It says, verse 10, trust not in oppression, become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. And that's what Esau has done. He's trusting in oppression. He's become vain in robbery, and his riches have increased, but he has set his heart upon them, you know, which means he's a greedy sucker. He's a greedy son of a bitch, like Bernie Mac used to say, man. It says, verse 11, so the Most High has spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai, also unto thee, O Lord, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest to every man according to his works. So this is why the Lord protecting us, because we're doing His will, you know, and we believe in His name. So yeah, man. Just want to touch on that, man. Lord willing, it's edifying. It's getting a little late, so I'm gonna just wrap it up, and I'll be on to the next one. Call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostle elders, great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom to you, brothers. That's laboring, believing in this thing, man. Shalom to you. The Bible.